Unity of Houston is an inclusive church where we seek to understand and live the teachings of Jesus and other spiritual masters. At Unity, we welcome all people from all spiritual paths and every walk of life. We celebrate the diversity of our city and of our world, and we teach love, tolerance, and oneness, seeking to live in harmony with open minds and open hearts.
Wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are always welcome at Unity. Join us and discover that the life of your dreams is already within you. I'm here to introduce our guest speaker today. She's really one of us now. We've had her here on this stage several times. She has led women's retreats here at Unity of Houston. I'm going to give you a little bit of her resume, but then I want to tell you what Cynthia James means to me. She is ordained in Centers for Spiritual Living. She is, and that's, well, she's also been on TV, and she's an actress, and she's an incredibly gifted museum, and she's going to share... Museum? Okay. A museum holds great beauty, so there you go. Musician, she's going to share some of her songs today, too. She's written 6 books. And she has created a coaching program, and she now has coaches teaching her what's it called? Emotional. You'll tell us about it. Incredible work of transformation that she has codified and shared now, and it's happening around the world. The medieval mystic from Germany, Hildegard of Bingen, her prayer, she said, is this: Spirit, let me remain on the green and growing edge of my becoming. This is what I've observed in you, Cynthia James. And over the 20 years that we have been friends and know each other, you keep revealing more. At a place in life when many are starting to look for the rocking chair, Cynthia James is still expanding, still growing, still creating new and wonderful ways the Spirit flows through her to you. And I feel like I'm starting to preach, so I need to get off the stage and welcome my dear friend and teacher, colleague, and partner. Please welcome Reverend Cynthia James to our stage today. I love
you. No matter what the circumstance, no matter what the pain, I'm here to live a life of love. I got everything to gain. I was born to be a winner. I was born to be free. Born with the answer of really being me. So no matter how the pain arrives, no matter how I feel, inside of me there is a light to guide the path to heal. I was born to be a winner. I was born to be free. I was born with the answer by really being me. Now I'm living in a space of a joyful dance. I do not see an end. Moving through this life with a smile on my face. I have no more need to pretend. No matter what relationship push me to the wall. No matter what relationship I have an end I call. I was born to be a winner. I was born to be free. Born with the answer of really being me. Da do da ba dee do da do da ba da ba da street da da do da ba da do da whoa 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 whoa. Ooh, no matter what the circumstance, no matter what the pain, I'm here to live a life of love. I got everything to gain. I was born to be a winner. I was born to be free. Born with the answer of really being me. I'm really being me. Really being me. Really being me. Thank you. So that's what I came to tell you today. First of all, y'all are so good. Can I just say that? Thank you, Reverend Michael, for inviting me. I love this community. I love this platform. And I know when a minister invites you to be on their platform, it's an act of trust with a sacred space for the community. So I came to tell you today, it's time to be you. So here is the thing. The topic today is that you are the magic. You create your freedom. And I just want to say the only reason you don't know that fully is because you've forgotten. So I'm going to ask you to just breathe. I want you to feel the seat you're sitting in. It is supporting you without 1 ounce of anything except support. What if the universe was doing exactly the same thing? What if you could trust it? What if you could lean into it? So I wrote you a poem, and it is called, well, if I can get this to open, there it is. You are the magic. The spark that dances in your eye, the whisper soft as stars on high, the glow that lives within your heart, a masterpiece, a work of art. The dreams you weave, the love you show, the endless light you let bestow. Through every breath, through every choice, magic lives. It's your own voice. No need to seek, no need to find. The magic's you in soul and mind. So stand tall, shine bright, and let it be. You are the magic, wild and free. Thank you, darling. So remember when you used to be wild and free? No? Well, here's the thing. You came on the planet wild and free. You came on with energy. You came on with inspiration. You came on with light. You came on with love. So in November of 23, I had just come back from Egypt. I take people on pilgrimages. And one of the things I know about leading pilgrimages is that you have the same immersion as everybody who's on the trip with you. So I get back and I'm meditating, and a voice says, write this down. Now, I've been meditating for 40 years, so I'm obedient. I pull out my journal, and it says, write the kingdom. So I write the kingdom. Then it says, draw 7 circles. So I draw 7 circles, and then I say, and it goes, not now. I'm like, how are you going to tell me this, and it's not now? And then it's still, right? So I forget about it. And a few months later, that whole thing keeps coming back in my mind. So I start trying to find this journal. Those of you who journal, you know we write in journals all over the place, right? So we don't ever know which journal we wrote in. So I'm looking for the journal. And I finally find this journal, and I open the page, and it opens to that page. And the voice very clearly says, now write the book. The name of the book is The Kingdom of Magic and Mystery. The 7 circles are 7 castles that live within every being that need to be fully activated to be aligned, because people have forgotten that they're universal magicians. I'm like, I don't know anything about this. And it's like, be still, we will give it to you. So this is my 6th book. Other books I've taken a long time. I've poured over. I've written, I've come back. This one came flooding in like 3 months. And I'm at a conference. I'm a part of this organization called Transformational Leadership Council, and Jack Canfield started it. And so there were a lot of speakers and teachers there. And I'm sitting at a table, and who comes and sits down next to me is someone I don't naturally love. In fact, he's sort of annoying because whatever's in his head comes out his mouth. And so he sits down next to me, and he's staring at me, and he goes, "Are you writing a book?" I said, "Yes." He said, "What's it about?" So I tell him, and he said, "Well, that's brilliant. I want to publish it." I said, "You're a publisher?" He said, "Yeah, I'm in Canada." So literally, from the moment it told me what to write and I started writing, it was not 9 months before the book came out. Now, I'm telling you that because that was magic. Normally, I would have tried to find a way to get away from this guy because I didn't like his energy, right? But instead, when he answered the question, I was just open. This is what I want you to know, why it's important to remember. When you don't remember that you have magic within you, you live in a space of fear versus faith. When you don't remember, you are looking for yourself where you're not, in other relationships, in other experiences, in other jobs. Oh, and by the way, you have forgotten your divine connection, even though you know it intellectually. Other stuff is coming out of your lips that nobody can believe that you're spiritual. Because you have forgotten to see God in all. And by the way, I am not clueless. I'm aware that we're living on a planet full of stuff going on that we're like perplexed. But when you open to that magic within you, what happens is you become open-hearted. You cease to defend yourself. You cease to try to prove that you're worthy. You stand in an awareness that you are a powerful being on this planet at this time for a significant reason. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Now, here's the thing. I know some of us are going, "Well, what's mine to do? Why am I here at this point?" I am so confused. I am so angry at looking at all this stuff. I don't get it. One of my friends has a 25-year-old daughter, and she's always on TikTok, and she was on the other day, and she was ranting, and she was like, "Why can't we care for one another? How come it's okay for us not to care for one another? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't care where you live. Why can't we care for one another?" And I'm like, because we've forgotten the magic. Because it's very easy to be righteous and to stand and think you got it together because God is on your side, but not those people over there. The thing is, you either believe God is all there is or you don't. You can't say God is all there is except for those politicians. God is all there is except my ex. God is all there is. So the job for you is to wake up and remember. To remember your wholeness. So the second thing I want to tell you is your wholeness is not about performance. It's not about becoming successful and achieving so other people get you. I did that so much in my life that about 15 years ago, I almost had adrenal failure because I was trying to take on so much so people would love me and see me. Phooey. It's like, that's not why you're here. You're worthy because Spirit breathed its energy into you. You're worthy because nobody can do what you came here to do on the planet the way you came here to do it. Nobody. Now, I'm aware that there's a culture saying you need to fit in a box, that you need to do it this way. You need to believe this. You need to speak this way. Oh my goodness, it's exhausting. Because here's the thing, why would God say, I'm going to create you as an individualized expression, but don't express fully? I'm going to give you all the energy and to be fully expressed, but sit down and shut up. That's not the God I know. So I speak all over the world. I have written all kinds of things and spoken on a lot of stages. And I also have a podcast. It's called Women Awakening. I've interviewed over 250 women around the world who have had a moment of awakening and chose to make a difference on the planet. I'm very proud of it. And I also am a guest on a lot of podcasts. So a woman called me up, whose name was Leah, and asked me to be on her podcast. And it was great. I just felt so connected to her. And at the end of it, she said, she calls herself the Oracle of Enterprises or something like that. And she said, oh, the oracles are saying you need to be bigger, you need to expand. I was like, okay. She said, are you coming to the conference? I said, what conference? She said, the podcast conference. I was like, no, where is it? She said, Vegas. I was like, ugh. She goes, no. She said, there's going to be podcasters from all over. This will be a great place for you to connect and network. So my mind is going, I am not going to Vegas. By the way, it's in 5 weeks. I'm not going to Vegas. And so I'm polite, and I said, thank you. She goes, I'm going to send you the link. And I'm saying, oh, okay, thank you. I'm not going to Vegas. So the link comes in, and the moment the link comes in, this voice and says, you need to go to this conference. I'm like, really? So really, I have learned about that inner voice to listen and be obedient, because if I don't, it gets interesting. So I go to Vegas, and I go in, and there's all these people there, including some extraordinarily successful podcasters. And the woman who owns this company is on the stage, and she's sharing all these things, and I'm writing like crazy, because I know about these conferences. They give you a lot of value, and then they sell you something, right? And I'm like, well, I'm not investing anything, because I just did a summit with 22 speakers. I'm not investing in anymore, right? And so I write all this down, and as I'm going out the door one of the times, the woman says, we want to give you an opportunity to get on the stage and pitch your podcast. And I'm like, oh, great. And she walks away, and something happened. My inner child, little Cindy, jumped in and said, we're going to get up in front of all these successful people. We don't know what we're doing. You're going to fail. Oh, my goodness. All those people on the panel are going to look at you and tell you you don't know what you're doing. Now, Cindy's a force of nature. She can hijack me in a moment. So usually what I do is give her potato chips to shut her up. But this time, I decided, okay, Cynthia, how about we go in and find out what she's really wanting? Why is she so upset? So I go into this meditation. And what she says to me was so deep. She said, I've spent all my life hiding to be loved. But I know that's not what I'm here to do. And I need you to help me come out. Now, I'm saying that to you and I feel like emotion because it was so deep. Because I was abused as a kid. And, you kept your head under the radar and so you didn't get hurt. So it's my turn to go up on the stage, and I decide to take her up there with me. So me and little Cindy and Cynthia, we go on the stage, and the agreement was we would just be authentic, and whatever feedback we got was for our good. So there was some really wonderful feedback, and when I walked off the stage, I felt this freedom, because when Cindy hijacks, my heart goes like this, and so does my solar plexus. But it was open. So as I'm walking out, the woman says to me, I hope you're going to take one of our programs. And I was like, no, I just invested in a summit, and I can't do that, but I think you're great. And so I get home, and 2 weeks later, I get an email from her, and she says, good luck on your summit. I hope it goes well. It's like, oh, that was nice. So 3 or 4 weeks later, she pops up in one of my feeds, and she's going to speak at this conference, so I'm going to be reciprocal. So I put, good luck, I'm sure you'll be brilliant. So 4 weeks ago, she sends me an email. She said, I cannot get you off my mind. She said, I think you're special, and I've looked at your stuff online, and she said, you're doing great work, but she says, it's not big enough. Can we have a conversation? And my inner voice is going, yes, but the other voice, the one who said, you spent too much money already this year. Don't be spending any more money. So I get on the phone with her, and I'm telling you this because this is where the magic comes in. She starts telling me all the things she sees that could make my podcast more successful and more expansive and touch more people. And I'm sitting there in awe. And she says, and so I've got this special, and I want to offer it to you. And I said, well, let me think about it. And she said, this is what you're going to get. So when I got off the phone, the voice in me said, write down all the money you're already spending on this podcast. You all these different people I'm paying to do all these different things, not as good as they do it, almost added up to the same amount of money. I'm like, Cynthia, really? You thought you were being so, I don't know, stable. And so I call her back and I go, okay, send me the proposal. So she sends me the proposal, but I don't look at it because it's late. And the next morning when I open it up, the beginning of the email says this: I think you're gifted. I think you have something special. So I'm going to take $500 a month off of what I offered you, which takes it under the amount that I was paying. Magic, people. And let me just tell you, it's because me and Cindy got up there and said, okay, see me for who I am, love me for who I am, honor me for who I am, because this is what you get. Last thing I want to tell you is that your activation of your magic becomes part of the healing of the collective. We are interconnected. If anybody's starving around the world, a part of us is starving. Anybody suffering around the world, we're starving. Anybody at war, by the way, sometimes we're at war. Have you ever, torpedoed somebody with your thoughts? Just saying. The thing is that when you activate your magic, you heal. So I take people to this place called Damanhur in Italy. And there is a man born Oberto Arrodi, and he was born in Turin, Italy. And he was kind of a unique child. He was really wise. He was really connected and spouting off wisdom when he was little. And by the way, was levitating. Can you imagine his mama watching him like levitate and stuff? Well, anyway, he's telling people he's come here on a mission, and he's to build the temples of humankind. And people are like, what is that? But by the time he's 18 years old, people from all over Europe are coming to hear him speak on these esoteric spiritual terms. And so some people join him, and they're going all over Europe looking for this space. And they get back to Italy, and somebody says, you should go to this place in northern Italy, which is literally 1 hour from Turin. And it's woods. And when he walks in with this group of people, the only house on this property, this crotchety old man comes out with a gun and looks down and goes, "Oh, it's you. Why are you here?" And he says, "You know me?" He said, "You've been in my dreams. What do you want?" And he said, I want to buy this property. Now, this guy had turned down these offers for a long time. When he said, "I want to buy this property," he said, "Okay." Now, you know, Italy is a Catholic country. So they're not going to give you permits to build an esoteric temple of humanity. So they started praying and meditating on this land and then got a signal that it was time. So there were no big machines. They dug it's in a mountain. These temples are in a mountain. They did it by hand, jackhammers and taking pots and passing them along. There's pictures of them passing the dirt. When you walk in today, it's like art on steroids. And the frequency is extraordinary. Hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world have visited Damanhur and had healings and transformative experiences, and now they teach all over the world. So that one man's vision and his inability to say no to it, and his willingness to take whatever time it took to build it. Because, by the way, when God gives you the vision, it doesn't say now it's going to come to fruition on October 25th. It says, "Follow me, listen to me, I will guide you. I will guide you." And by the way, I will guide you with all of your messiness. I will guide you with all of your raw, interesting characteristics. I will guide you with that beautiful heart that was installed in you from the very beginning. I will guide you because somebody needs you. Somebody needs your heart. Somebody needs your prayers. Somebody needs your love. Somebody needs you. So your coming here to this community is an act of faith and a statement of courage every time you step through the door. Because it says, I'm ready, I'm open, I'm available. Use me, teach me, guide me. I'm here. Now, this is what I want you to know. You do that because some part of you knows you were chosen. You were chosen. God needed you so much. It breathed its life into your form. And you, on the other side of the veil, said, yes, I'm ready. And I'm going to come through those parents, no matter how interesting they are. I'm going to come through them because they are going to be the beginning of my graduate school on this planet. They're going to be the beginning of my bringing my gifts. So I want to read you another poem. This is to the sacred child within. You are seen. You are chosen. You are free. Wrap yourself in the cloak of your magic. Let the old story fall away. You were never here to prove. You were always here to shine. The world is waiting for your light. The world is waiting for your light. So in 2022, my fifth book came out, and I have a friend named Catherine Woodward Thomas. Some of you may know her because she wrote Calling in the One. And we were on the phone, and she said, oh, you're going to do another album? I was like, no, She goes, I think you should do another album. You should meet these people I know called the Brothers Corn. I was like, I'm not doing an album. She goes, okay. And while she's saying that, she's texting for all of us and say, you guys should know each other. Okay, now I'm telling you this because this is magic. I have written over 50 songs. I have recorded over 30, and I do not read music. How's that possible? Magic. And when I talk to these men, they go, you know, we love working with artists who just like to open to spirit and download. I'm like, okay, I'm in. So the album that was recorded was called Chosen, and this is the song from there. I'm gonna sing it to you and then do a prayer. I knew I was chosen, my destiny assured. Beyond circumstances, I'm here to be heard. I knew I was chosen. How would I land in this place? Tired of being frozen, tired of the rat race. I knew I was chosen beyond the hurt inside. The ways I was treated, my dreams were denied. I knew I was chosen, release the pain inside. Dare to be seen, decide not to hide. The voice within told me, have no fear. The voice of 1,000 angels will guide you, my dear. Voice within told me, release the fear. Love of 1,000 angels will guide you, my dear. I knew I was chosen from the very start. The still small voice within said, open your heart. I knew I was chosen. I came to lift my voice, stop running from myself and make a different choice. Voice within told me, have no fear. Voice of 1,000 angels will guide you, my dear. Voice within told me, release the fear. Love of 1,000 angels will teach you, my dear. Hear the angels. Hear the angels. Ooh. Hear the angels. I knew I was chosen for this moment in time. I'm here as a blessing, no reason or rhyme. I knew I was chosen, well on my way. I stand in my power, I'm here to stay. I knew I was chosen. So let's just take a moment and tap into that energy. You were chosen. You are so important. You are so magnificent. You are so powerful. There is a field of infinite light and love and grace and harmony, infinite potential and possibility. Choose to call it the divine, spirit, the absolute, God, divine intelligence. And we are sparks, sparks of that divine energy. Magic made manifest. And so how wonderful in this moment to stand in the awareness that no matter what we have been through, no matter what we are going through, the past does not define us. We get to open to the possibilities of expression, creativity. We get to open magic. We get to open artistic creativity. We get to open and dance of the divine. We get to design a frequency that's powerful, dynamic, and mighty. We get to create and step into the castle of relationships, the castle of water where emotions flow, the castle of animals where we are connected to the divine nature. And so we stand here in this moment knowing that right here on this planet, we lift up the entire planet, the ecosystems, the water world, the plant worlds, the animal worlds. We lift up every man, every woman, every child. We lift up all of those places on the planet who are suffering from a lack of consciousness and leadership. We stand in awareness that war has never been the answer. Love is the frequency that heals. Love is the frequency that transforms. Love is the frequency that lifts and nurtures and reminds us that we are interconnected. And so whatever we're going through in this moment, we place it on the altar of light. Old pains, dis-ease, discomfort, challenges, financial, mental, emotional, physical, we place it on the altar of light, and what happens is transformation. What happens is the magic wand of the divine comes and reminds us that we are whole, perfect, and complete right where we are. I give thanks for this community. I give thanks for its willingness to be in high service. For Reverend Michael and the entire team of everyone here committed to your growth, to your healing, to your transformation, I give thanks. I know something beautiful is happening because we are a yes in the mind of God. And so the magic activates the internal yes that allows us to soar. And so in this moment, I just give thanks, knowing nothing opposes the divine. Nothing is more powerful than divine. And so we lift up all the people on this planet who think that division is the norm. Because the truth is, connection, loving, nurturing, honoring one another, that is the norm. And so we let go and we give thanks. We trust this extraordinary process called life and allow it to be and say, and so it is. Thank you all. I love you.
Watching this message today. I'd like to invite you to join us in person here on campus at Unity of Houston for Sunday morning or Wednesday evening services. If you can't be with us here on our campus, you can still join us live on Facebook or on our website, unityhouston.org, Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Central.